Indigo.
Indigo is Compassion, which has not shown up yet.
Well, they did in Tales of the Lantern Corps.
There have been like little bits and pieces, and the only thing that we've really been able to suss out is Indigo is really fucking weird.
Yeah,
okay.
They appear to all be the only one that are all from the same race, as near as I can tell. No,
they're mixed race.
All from the same father. Okay. Speaking as someone who studied color theory and all, indigo is a form of blue.
Yeah, it's very, very deep midnight blue, and they've been doing it as like every colorist seems to have their different take on it. Like some it's a dark purple, some it's a bright purple, and it's just like, dude, fucking buy a prism. What's wrong with you people?
It's not Tales of the Roy G. Biv corpse.
except that it is. Those are the colors they picked.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm waiting for the mauve lanterns.
Tales of the Rainbow Coalition.
In Blackest Night Zero, didn't they like specifically say Roy G. Biv in reference to what's going on with all the colors?
Maybe they did. I don't know. I'm just trying to be funny.
They
failing thanks to your accuracy, Grant.
They are going to bring in an imp from the fifth dimension whose name is Roy G. Biv.
I was going to say, is Rainbow Raider behind the whole thing? That dude's real name is Roy G. Bivolo. If you name your kid Roy G. Bivolo, he's going to be a supervillain.
Yeah, it's just like, so Mr. and Mrs. Nigma, what are you going to name your kid? Edward! What could possibly go wrong?
So for those who don't know, who at this point have probably already tuned out anyway, and the biggest the crossover going on now in DC is Blackest Night, which isn't as irritating as a lot of their other ones, only because it's not taking over every single comic. It seems
not
like
yet.
It's only taking I've seen the list, and it's like, okay,
pretty small.
It's very small and it's very sporadic which comics it's coming in on, and that's pleasant.
Well,
that's the way crossovers should be.
And not only that, they're doing this up with Superman and Batman and Teen Titans. They're not taking place in the actual series. They're doing mini series.
Yes.
3 issues each, which is great. That's the way I prefer it.
It's the Marvel method.
Yeah.
It's what they did with Civil War and Secret Invasion.
Which is weird because it's the exact opposite of what Marvel is doing with Secret Reign right now.
Right, because they're stealing from each other.
Or Dark Reign. Secret Reign, Dark Reign.
Well, Marvel keeps saying Dark Reign is not really an epic.
Yeah.
It's just what happened after Secret
Universe,
Invasion.
Right.
So,
it's a new paradigm.
And Marvel's changing the way they do business in the sense that, like, it's not like it's one big event building towards something per se, and even they've said, it's not going to have a big explosion at the end.
Right,
it's
the Norman Osborn era.
Yeah, it's just what's going on in comics right now, and of course, it's such a big thing; it affects everybody.
Yeah. Which was really, really great when DC did it 3 years ago with Lex Luthor as president.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Is it not the same?
Well, they constantly rip off each other. To be fair, so
but anyway,
I thought Blackest Night was cool when they did Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, that's true.
I wanted to say that. In fact, when I saw the Marvel panel or the DC panel, I was so tempted to get up and say, look, I like Blackest Night, all my friends like Blackest Night, but seriously, guys, who was the first guy to stand up after reading Marvel Zombies and going, we got to do something like this?
It is a lot like Marvel Zombies, except, it doesn't suck.
Hey, Marvel Zombies didn't suck. Marvel Zombies was good.
It was
just
okay.
It was just comedy, and the thing is that this isn't supposed to be comedy.
Wasn't it kind of like a good joke that went on too long?
Yeah.
Hell, I thought
Way
the new
too
one
long.
that just came out made me laugh out loud.
Yeah, there's still some fun stuff in it.
They're doing a whole thing now where like there's some deal where they're sending them all to parallel dimensions, like one at a time. The newest one is Spider-Man, who's trying to not be a zombie because he remembers what it's like to be Peter Parker, and he's just failing. But then at the end of it, he pulls off his whole face and his whole actual human skin and leaves it in a garbage can. It's like Spider-Man zombie, no more. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's funny because Peter Parker is like the character, the superhero with the shittiest life. Why would he want to go back to that?
I know.
Well, at least he wasn't eating people.
He doesn't have webs anymore, so he just shoots all the veins and arteries out of himself.
Okay, that is funny.
That's awesome. Oh my god. It was like it's been bad for a while now, but that's pretty funny. Anyway, back to Blackest Night.
But Blackest Night does stuff like having Aquaman actually scare the crap out of you. And I do want everybody in the audience to parse that sentence carefully. Aquaman scaring the fucking crap out of you.
And not in the sense that when somebody told you James Cameron was directing Aquaman, we find out later it was just from Entourage.
Or if you're a comic book writer.
I actually did utter the words, "Oh my god!" They did that page.
Like we were talking about that page, that moment, which I don't want to spoil, but where Aquaman just unleashes and pulls some heinous shit.
Well, honestly, I want to say, you know what, guys? If you haven't read it yet, put this aside and read these books because we're going to spoil stuff. So let's just go ahead and talk about it.
Basically, zombie Aquaman summons a bunch of sharks to eat people, like jump up out of the sea, Deep Blue Sea style. Yeah. And it is awesome. And in comic book resources in the review, they said, and if that doesn't do it for you, I really just don't know what you want out of comic books.
No, that's the thing I've liked so much about this Blackest Night run is every issue has had one panel that was like, wham, pow, this is what we buy comics for. Like, this is amazing. There's the Black Planet, the one in the newest Green Lantern, where it's like a whole planet, like Black Lantern planet. You're like, oh my God.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because you're right. That moment with the what is that, the newest?
That's 45.
Oh, okay, issue 45 of Green Lantern, and yeah, that moment where he sees a whole planet. That's Black Lantern.
Yeah,
that is that holy shit moment.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the rest of the issue?
And by the way, it's the planet that John Stewart is indirectly responsible for destroying.
Yeah,
he's the one
man,
you guys
they
didn't
would
catch
just
that,
not cut a brother some slack
and then
on that. I mean,
which is cool because Fatality, who wants to kill him because throughout the series has wanted to kill John Stewart because of his responsibility for that, is now a Star Sapphire who's supposedly forgiven him. So
yeah,
I can't wait to see the
because
ramifications.
that always cracked me up. It's like, wow, there's only 2 hot chicks in the DC universe, and one of them wants to kill me.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm kind of a power girl man myself.
I'm sorry, did I say 2 hot chicks?
Yeah,
I meant 2 hot black chicks.
Oh, sorry. I was like, okay.
No, yeah.
You're more picky than I thought was plausible.
Well, no.
A guy who goes to
not like
cheap...
the richly colored tapestry of Marvel comics.
This is the
who
guy
has Captain Marvel and
I was about to say
Misty
Captain
Knight.
Marvel.
Misty, yeah.
This is a guy who prefers to go to strip clubs because they're having their $10 lap dance sale on Tuesday afternoon. It's like, oh, it'll be fine. I'm sure there'll still be some hotties there.
Yo, hold
What's
on,
a
man.
cesarean scar?
I'm not gonna
Boy,
If
deny.
you cross your eyes a little bit, you can't see the C-section scars
I am not going to deny that I enjoy, such places, but I do
she
not
may
go
have
on
a
the
glass
cheap
eye
afternoons.
now. She may have a glass eye now, but she was somebody's baby once.
Man, the worst thing, though, is when you're there when the lights come up in those strip clubs.
Ooh, yeah, you don't want to be there.
When
that
you're
late.
just like...
No, you feel like a cockroach, like in the middle of the night when you're
absolutely.
telling
No,
people
it's
your kitchen.
It's like They Live. You
Yeah.
put on those glasses, and suddenly
Yeah.
the horror is revealed.
But
It's like, Jesus Christ, you've got a spider web on your leg. Oh.
but we digress.
So anyway, Blackest Night.
So anyway, yeah, what did you guys feel like? Because I thought that was an oh shit moment, and then the rest of the issue, I was just kind of like, yeah, I guess
No,
it's okay.
dude.
No, I
okay,
disagree
thought
totally.
I really enjoy what's been going on with Carol Ferris. I like her story. I like that the love rings, whatever the sapphires have, they've been changed, so they're not psychotic stalkers anymore.
I love how like the sapphires were all ex-girlfriends.
I know. Yeah, the
Like,
ex-girlfriend core. I know. They need a ex-boyfriend core just for Allison. But but then the end where you've got the Avarice Lantern and the Black Lanterns come and resurrect
Lord,
all
please.
of the people he's killed to be his core, and he's just holding his lantern, going, "Oh fuck!" I loved that. No,
Uh-oh.
I'm more excited about this book like what's coming out for each one of these than I am about anything else coming out right now.
Well, we've
quite
been
honestly.
looking forward to this. I mean, since we did the Tribe Comics
That's true.
podcast way back when we had Ruby Rocket on and everything, and even before then,
Oh,
we've been waiting for this.
Yeah,
and,
the
and
roots
it's-
of this go back 5 years.
Well, it was,
it's
it was
paid
back
off.
to when he started Green Lantern.
Yeah,
again.
he was
was
like, this is going to be a big fucking deal.
Green Lantern number
It's all gonna-
25 when it ended with all the hands busting up through the ground with black rings on them. That was the teaser, and we were like, what the fuck?
Although, if you go back through, I recently reread the run a few months back. If you go back as early as like the first dozen issues of his run, Johns was laying pipe for this.
Yeah,
He was
Rebirth.
laying pipe.
That was the wrong phrase, and I knew it when it came out.
I did the same thing last
he's
week.
going in, he was diddling Didio. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, God. Yeah, but no, back to the original miniseries, Green Lantern Rebirth. I mean, he brings up the Spectrum in there. It's all.
That's when he first started
coming
tossing
out.
the salad.
You know, the thing about the Spectrum thing, to go a little ways back, it sounds like a horrible idea, right? Like on the face of it, you're like, wait, so there's going to be 7 different colors of lanterns and then the rainbow land. It sounds horrible, but
I
they
always thought it was
really
a great
made it
idea.
work. But see, it sounded like one of those things that could be really bad.
I love that. I loved it from the start. But then again, I've got this fetishy thing for like Reverse Flash and
Yeah.
so stuff like that turn like
An anti-Venom?
turns costumes around. I mean, even like Captain Marvel Jr. and Captain Marvel.
Right.
It's just like, ooh, this
Yeah,
one's
it's weird.
blue. This
I
one's
like
red.
that stuff
I've
too,
always
but I
loved
just
that.
when I heard the rings color, and I saw a lot of this reaction in the store. People were like, oh, there's all these different colors. I'm like, no, read it. It's good.
I see. My first reaction was it was cool. I really
yeah.
liked it. Right
No,
off the
I had
bat,
to talk
too.
people into it.
Wow, I find that so surprising, but maybe it's because I came into it after being sold on, look, you really should be reading Green Lantern now
Yeah.
because Jeff Johns is good. So I went back and read it from the beginning of his run,
Right.
Which you kind of it's more organic coming into it. That
I can't
way,
believe
guess.
it took a Green Lantern creator this long to do something other than green and yellow.
Well, it seems
Yeah.
like I was gonna say like the inspiration for this seems to be like Green Lanterns have classically had the worst weaknesses ever. Like to me, with the original Green Lantern, whose symbol is basically green fire, his weakness was wood. The thing that fire is made to burn.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh no, but with the next one, we're gonna fix that. Okay, now his weakness isn't wood; it's the color yellow.
Well, I
which
think-
When does that
dominates his
occur in
planet.
nature?
It's like someone said, Jeff Johns, how can we take all the douchiness out of Green Lantern?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, first, he's got the lamest weakness next to Martian Manhunter ever.
It's
So.
actually really funny. Just speaking of the Yellow Lantern thing, the Bizarro Green Lantern is a Yellow Lantern,
Right.
And you can there is actually a panel in the Sinestro Corps War where you can see him as one of the.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's
It's
great.
awesome.
Oh, right.
It's like,
Right
hey,
on.
that's Bizarro Green Lantern.
That's pretty cool.
I'd like to hear that oath.
But these have been fun. I really like what they did in one of the one-off with Superman. There's thing
Yeah.
on the issue. I wasn't as it was my second least favorite of the run.
I thought it was actually a pretty good
next
issue.
to
And maybe
Solomon
because
Grundy.
you played it down, but when I read it, I liked it.
Well,
quite a bit.
I went back and read it again after everybody else was saying, no, I really liked it. And honestly, the thing that works so well for it is they show you what the world looks like to the Black Lanterns through their eyes, which is all they see from everyone is what degree of the emotion based on ring color anyone is feeling at any given
That's the
time.
kind of there's got to be some kind of absorption thing happening, because if you'll notice every time it shows them registering that, like they'll look at somebody and somebody will be red and somebody will be green and go rage, will, and then the power levels of the ring will say will go up incrementally. So
Yeah.
it seems like they're absorbing those emotions.
Oh yes,
and that's what's powering. the
They've
rings.
actually said somewhere what the percentage is per dead bot person or person they kill. I
Yeah,
can't remember what it is.
But I wonder what happens when it actually does reach 100.
well,
when it
that's
fully
Yeah, what
powers
happens
that's
up.
the
then?
question.
That would be it's
and
what's
and
leading
the,
up.
Maybe
the
they
general
come
thing
fully
it's
alive.
well the thing is, and they've already Jeff Johns let slip in oh shit, I can't remember where it was, but he let slip. It's official news now that in issue number 5 of Blackest Night, they're going to announce a Necron, which is a very obscure Green Lantern character, but essentially he's sort of like another Death. I mean, he's Death for all extents and purposes.
But to
Just
be fair, I
sort of
mean,
like a
Black-
Death who lives next door to hell.
Black Hand was a complete also ran joke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Before the series came out, and now it's just like, oh Jesus.
Well,
Yeah.
Jeff Johns is one of those guys who likes taking completely obscure, nowhere characters and making them interesting again, and he said as much, and this is him doing that. And like I said, Necron, he is, for all extents and purposes in the DC universe right now, kind of a, god of death type character, and he'll be introduced as sort of the head of the Black Lanterns. My guess is because I know he's like, in the past, he's always been trying to break through from his dimension to this one. There was even one not that long ago with Kyle Rayner, where I think it was his last appearance, in fact, where he was trying to come through and he raised
Well,
all
his last
the
appearance
dead.
is the only Green Lantern.
I'm sorry.
His last appearance is the only Green Lantern.
What do you mean?
Well, he's still
it
around,
is-
yeah.
Oh, you mean in his last appearance in this run?
No. I'm saying the last time Necron appeared in
Necron.
comics.
Okay,
I thought
you were
I heard
saying
Kyle
Kyle
Rayner,
Rayner's
yeah.
last
Oh
appearance.
no! I'm
You-
saying
you use
Kyle
too many
Rayner.
he's.
I'm sorry, Kyle Rayner.
Pronoun trouble.
It was Kyle Rayner was Green Lantern at the time, and Necron was trying to come through, and he was resurrecting all the dead lanterns, and they were kind of Black Lantern-ish, and I get the feeling that's where all this started, really. But he's going to end up being, in my guess, though, when it's 100%, boom, here comes giant scythe-wielding, skeleton-y type guy.
Out of curiosity, Bo, had you heard of Necron before this? If anyone
I
had.
vaguely recall him
'Cause I was-
but,
I mean, John's is impressive, but this is a really obscure one to pull out.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool that he's got somebody that fits so well and that nobody knows.
Yeah, he's not that old.